Catherine. I am from Michael's. We are so excited to have you all joining us today. We really appreciate you kind of sharing your time with us. We are here for the maker, and this is so exciting that we get to continue to be here for you, learn from you, help you learn from us, especially during these crazy times. Again, we so appreciate you tuning in. If you have any questions, please put them in the group chat. We'll answer them live. We'll answer them through the chat. This is going to be recorded, so don't worry if you're taking notes and you miss something. We'll absolutely share this back out with you. And it is my absolute pleasure to introduce everyone's favorite human in the whole world, Joe from Siser.
What?
Off.
How's it going, everyone? Thank you so much. I want to give a big thank you to Michaels again for having me back. I thought I was going to be let go after last week. I don't know, but I had a blast hanging out with so many people that I see from time to time through the social media platforms, people I've seen at shows. I see so many familiar faces and names on here. What's awesome to say is I could see some faces. So it's less awkward for me to just stare at my own face and know that, like, 100 people are watching from wherever. So this is so much cooler. I love being on this platform. This is my second time ever. So just remember, if there's any technical or anything that goes wrong, this is still a trial test for both Michaels and myself. I am Joe with Siser North America. Thank you so much. You're hanging out with me in my basement in the safety of our homes. We're doing what we've been doing. I hope you're all doing really well. It's so refreshing to see people still doing some awesome craft ideas and projects, and people are still getting the ball rolling with new things and testing out a bunch of Siser products. And I think we probably have a lot of people that have used Siser products before. This is gonna be my first lesson forever, and it's always how to properly pronounce Siser. And this is an example of a Michaels roll of Siser heat transfer vinyl, if you haven't seen this before. So at your Michaels store, these rolls right here, that's Siser heat transfer vinyl. So that's kind of where I started off, because I know we get a lot of Siser, sisters, you know, sister. People add letters. It's awesome. So if you tuned in last week, I did a really fun project. It was an awesome message. I had a really friendly stranger drop off this cute little design she made for me, and she posted it on my front door, and I vectorized it. So I drew it and I made it into a shirt. So her design, it's probably backwards here, but it says "Be Great," and I used 3 different Siser heat transfer vinyls. So I had Easy Weed Electric as the heart. I used our fluorescent pink Easy Weed for the bunny, and then the lettering is the blue glitter. And I do apologize for the lighting. It may not be as tantalizing on a laptop camera, but here you go. So this is what I showed last week. It was an awesome project. Again, what I just kind of want to convey in all this is to have some positivity, some good messaging and stuff like that to give back to the environment, or I mean your surroundings. So a random stranger came up to my house, made my day. So this is my way of paying that forward. I also offered the artwork for this too. So if you are interested in getting this into a vectorized image to where you can make a t-shirt or make some decals or stuff like that, you're more than welcome to get it. But today's lesson is going to be the discussion that we get a question all the time at Siser is, can you layer Siser glitters, the heat transfer vinyl, on top of one another? So I'm sure many of you have pondered that question or probably tried it and maybe had a little bit of failure. The response that we give to people is no. So when you work with 2 different Siser glitter heat transfer vinyls, so I already have this roll open, that was the core dropping. 2 different Siser glitter heat transfer vinyls, if you wanted to layer them on top of one another onto a garment, it is not something we recommend. We usually say no. And that's in the case of anything that's going to be laundered. So if you're going to wash it like a t-shirt, the problem with the layering comes with the way it's washed. So the washing, it doesn't allow it to fully bond to one another. So what I'm going to show you today is with a design that I created, another one that I would love to give you guys. It's another important message for me because right now in all of this situation, I want to definitely acknowledge the people that are in our healthcare system right now and the people that are putting themselves out there in the front lines of all this stuff. So my message here was not all superheroes wear capes. And again, this was a 2-color glitter, Siser glitter heat transfer vinyl that looks like it's layered into each other. And I hope you guys can see that. It may be better in the second camera. If we can go there, Stacy, for a second. I'm not sure where it might look better, but that is the design we're going to work with today. So if you guys can see that. It gives the illusion of 2 different glitter colors together, but they're actually what we call the knockout method. So it's the way you set up your design to where it's kind of pieced into each other, but both of these colors are actually adhered to the garment. So that's what I want to show you today real quickly. So again, if you're using any of the craft cutters, if you're using a Silhouette or a Cricut, you can absolutely cut with the Siser glitters. When you get a roll of the Siser glitter, just like all our other heat transfer vinyls, when you unravel it from Michaels, you're going to have a tech sheet that comes with it. So hang on to this tech sheet because this tech sheet's going to have some information for you to let you know what kind of fabric we recommend for that particular product, the heat application instructions, and then if you want to get our app, which is very helpful, you can use these QR codes to get it right on your phone. And what the app has is all the color swatches. It has the application instructions, and it also has recommended cut settings. Now, these are very ballpark, but if you're working with like what I have here, and I'm not sure if we can see it, but I have a Silhouette right next to me. And here, that is a recommendation. Here, let me pull it in a frame. So this is an example of what you can cut with. So a Silhouette Cameo, like I said, is something you can cut the Siser glitter with. And we do have recommended cut settings for it. Because if you're familiar with Easy Weed, like this other roll I showed you, and you are cutting between Easy Weed and glitter, there's going to be 2 different types of settings. And it's very, very important to make sure that you do your test cuts and your settings before you do your run. Okay, I hope that makes sense, but we do have helpful tools in case you need it. So I have my designs already cut. And today I decided to go with the gold confetti glitter, which is this piece here, and I have lavender glitter. So 2-color. And when you get a roll, when you set it up on your vinyl cutter, what's really important too is when the roll comes out of the mic roll like this, you're going to have the shiny side on the outside. So when you go to lay it onto your craft cutter, you want to make sure you lay it with the shiny side facing down and the dull side facing up. You're going to be cutting on the dull side. This is your adhesive side. So when you cut your heat transfer vinyl, you're going to cut it mirrored. So it's also very important that you mirror it. And I apologize for those that are already really familiar with this, but I just want to make sure that everybody is on the right page and is caught up on what I just did. So to get into the artwork side of it, I am going to try to do the screen share just to show you kind of the way I set this up. Now, I used a program called Corel. Now, this is a little bit more of an advanced software, but this is a program I use to design a lot of my artwork ready to cut. So it's very simple, and I'm just going to kind of show you what you need to do. And what I did is I drew both of these. And this right here is a typable font. So the font I used to create this is called Impact. And I typed that out and I shaped it to wherever I wanted. I distorted it, which is just basically taking it and stretching it and making it look the way I want it to look. And then what I did is I drew this heart stethoscope. And the thing is what's great is you can put these together and center them, which to me looks okay, but I decided to go this route. So just to go back to where I was at, I made it to where it kind of falls into that design. Now, the way I have this set up with these two different attributes, I could cut these as is. But in this case, I want to use two pieces of glitter. Now, if I cut all of this background as one piece, I would not be able to layer my top piece of glitter on top of that bottom, because again, we don't recommend layering it. But if you decided to do Easy Weed as that bottom piece and glitter on the top piece, that's fine. Or if you wanted to do two different Easy Weed colors together, that's fine. So to get to where I want this design to be cuttable and layerable for two different Siser glitter transfers would be to do a intersect method. So what I'm going to do in this program, and I'm going to show you in two other softwares just to kind of get the vernacular of what you're looking for when you're designing, is I'm going to click that top layer, I'm going to hold shift, and I'm going to click that bottom layer. Now in this program, you have these options up here that are weld, trim, intersect, and simplify. And these all offer different things. If I were to hit weld, it's going to piece it all together like that. I don't want that. The next one is where I'm going to go, which is trim. And that cuts out, it didn't look like it did anything, but now when I move my hardware, this is how I want it to look. You see what happened there? Is it created that intersect or that trim out of my bottom layer. So now this art right here is set up exactly how I need in order to cut that. So this is what I did with that artwork. Now, does anyone have questions on this? I can't see it because I'm still on screen share. So
no questions. You're good.
Okay.
People are very excited.
Awesome. All right. So this is what I did in Corel. I'm not going to go too deep. I just wanted to explain what I did there and how you make the artwork set up to do the knockout method. And that's in Corel. So the term we're learning today is trim. And that is for Corel. Now I'm going to shift over to Silhouette Studio because I have this. The only one I don't think I have that probably many of you have is the Cricut Studio, which I do believe is an online software, and somebody could probably assist on how to do that in there. But in the Silhouette program, what you can do here is the same exact artwork. So just like before, if you were in here, and my version of Silhouette Studio is actually the design edition. So I have a little bit more capability of doing more of the art setup. If you have the basic edition, you can still do this functionality. It's absolutely something you can do. But I already had this design created, brought it in, just to show you the term that you would use in Silhouette is you would grab both of these, just like I did before, and then over on your right side, there is a modified panel, and you have the same option of weld, and then right below it, you have an option that's subtract all. And what that's doing, just like what it just did in Corel, is it just broke up the area for my foreground of the glitter. Now, I hope that makes sense. I'll just show you again. I'm just going to reverse it all again. You want to make sure you, didn't go far back. So I have my two pieces. All you have to do is click your foreground and your background together and then hit subtract all. Now this artwork is ready to be cut for two different pieces of glitter. Now, that's Silhouette Studio. So we have Corel Silhouette Studio. Last week, somebody mentioned this other program that I wasn't entirely privy to. And I just downloaded it last night actually, just to see how it is. And this is Inkscape. So someone mentioned designing it in Inkscape, and I wasn't really familiar with it, but I gotta say, for another free software that you can download right to your computer, it has a lot of functionality to it. I haven't scratched the surface on the capabilities, but I did just like what I did in the last one. The only thing I'm not finding for this program is just like what I showed you before. When I have my design like this and I click them together.
Hey Joe, just real quick, it looks like we're still on CorelDRAW. We can't see your screen for the Inkscape.
Well, Joe, I don't think you went over to silhouette. You're still sharing the Corel Draw.
Was I?
Yeah. So can you go back and redo the
Yeah, let me, oh,
silhouette?
so you guys didn't even get to see the silhouette?
Nope.
What I need to know. All right, all right. Let me do the silhouette one real fast. Again, I'll show you. Let me try the share screen. Okay, I think I might have to like end up coming out of it and then going back in. Okay, so I'm going to share my silhouette screen. Now, does this look great? Let me know.
Much better. Thanks,
Okay.
Joe.
Sorry about that. All right, so we're in Silhouette Studio. So just to go back, I know you guys heard what I said, hopefully. In Silhouette Studio, I have this business edition, so I can do a little bit more drawing and vectorizing and creating. But same as the Corel software I showed you, I have my 2 layers designed this way. Now I want to do what I did in Corel, which was the term of trim, correct? So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna click on my foreground, hold shift, click on my background, and then over on the right side, there is an option on my tools to modify, and what you're gonna get is weld, which will bring it all together like that one we didn't wanna do, and right underneath it is a subtract all. And what that does, once I click that, like I did there, it doesn't look like it did anything, but once you move that aside, that's exactly what we want, is having one layer that's going to cut that shape of my foreground, and then I have my other layer of glitter. So in this case, that file is good to go. So in Corel, we have trim. In Silhouette Studio, we have subtract all. And that's how you're going to create that knockout method. And you can do this with as many pieces as you want. I'm only showing you 2 colors today, but if you wanted to, you can do 3 or 4 colors if you were savvy enough to do the art side of it and have them all intersect. So if you have questions on this, please let me know. I'm going to stop share so I can move on to the other software. Now, I'm going to go into a third software. This is what I was talking about earlier. This software was one that a customer or an attendee had mentioned last week, was Inkscape. Inkscape is a free vector software, and it's really, really cool. Like I said, I haven't scratched the surface on what you can do with it, but I did toy with it a little bit just to see what you can do in it, and it seems like it's got a lot of functionality, especially for a free platform. It seems like you can save all sorts of file types on top of one another, from an SVG to an EPS to a PDF, on top of raster images like JPEGs and PNGs. But in this case, I did draw my same design. I used a typable font right here, which is my Impact. I did the same designing as Corel. And now, the only thing I noticed, and somebody, if you're a little bit more savvy with this program in here, I did not notice that they had the same function of trim or subtract all. What they have is, the only one I could find was this one up at the top that gives you, was it no, let's see. It was up here. I just looked at it the other day. I think it's, nope. Yeah, difference. Okay, but the problem is now when I do what I did before, instead of me just clicking difference, it did the part for the second, or the bottom layer, but my top layer disappeared. So what I noticed is there wasn't another option in order to do that. So what you want to make sure if you're working in Inkscape is you want to make sure you copy, so Control C, that foreground. So you want to copy that and then click the 2 together, go up and hit difference. Now you can hit paste. And it may not line up right away, but you already know that that's your foreground, because it doesn't really matter that they're not together. As long as you don't manipulate the sizing, that's very, very important to remember. Once you have these clipped together and you do this, you don't want to go and manipulate the sizes. You want to save that file exactly like that. I hope that answers some questions, because if you manipulate that, now your foreground may or may not fit. Well, it probably won't fit into that background or vice versa. So you really want to make sure that once you set that up and you paste it back down, that you save it, and now we're good to go to cut it. Any questions on any of this?
So no questions, Joe, but we did have a couple people that offer some really helpful tips. If you're a customer using Design Space, the tool would be Slice.
Slice. Okay, awesome. So Design Space, so that's the Cricut platform is Slice. So trim, subtract all, slice, indifference. It's all the same functionality, just different words. And that will be the word of the day or the function of the day. So now let's move on. We've already had the cut pieces. I have my 2 cut pieces here ready to go. The next step is just weeding, which is pretty basic. If those that don't know, weeding is just removing the excess material from your cut piece. We can switch to the second camera here. We'll do a little overview. But just to show you, for those that have ever used Siser glitter, oh no.
Cut off. We'll have to spotlight you the other way.
Sorry, I was getting emergency messages from my governor right now. That's what just came in there. Did it work? Did it go back? No.
You're back. You're good.
All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties. You know, it happens. Now, what I wanted to say is for those that sometimes, or people that have used Siser glitter, we get another one ask for kind of tips as to what they can do to maybe see the cut lines a little bit easier. And as of now, I mean, we're hoping that in the future we'll have a really nice remedy for you. Wink, wink. But for this case, what I like to do is what I call the reverse roll. And what I'll do is on my cut side, I'll just kind of roll it a little bit against each other. And what you'll notice, and it may be harder to see on the screen, but you can see the cut lines start to pop up when you do that, which makes weeding out your excess a lot nicer, or simpler to see any of your cavities and stuff like that. Have you ever weeded glitter, Catherine?
You know, I have. I don't have as fancy of a weeding tool as you have, but, you know, maybe one day. Wink, wink.
Oh, yeah. But what's on your t-shirt, though, today?
I just have a nice Michaels logo. I don't know if any of you customers have seen, but we have upgraded our logo to make sure that you all know that we are here for the maker and that we are so excited to have y'all here.
There you go. All right, this was a pretty simple weed. As you can see, I didn't have much issues in an ill-lit basement. But this is a 2-parter. Probably can't see it totally well, but we're ready for application. May have had a casualty here, but you know what's really cool about this Siser Easy or the glitter is that if you do have pieces that come up, it's got a pressure sensitive backing, so you can lay it right back down to wherever it fell off. So that's kind of cool about that side. Now, the application end of it, if you're using a home iron, that's fantastic. But I'm gonna probably make some people at Michael's a little annoyed today, like Catherine, because she allowed me to show you something today in action, and I don't want you to get too excited yet. You know, this is just a quick demonstration of something you're going to be able to do in the future. Now, again, if you do have a home iron, that's awesome. Or a Cricut Easy Press. So if you have a home iron or a Cricut Easy Press, you can absolutely apply Siser heat transfer vinyls onto it. Just make sure you're on a flat surface. Last week I did my application with this home iron and I used a wood cutting board, and that protected from any kind of abrasion on your surface. It also gave me a firm platform to push down on. So that's very important to make sure you apply pressure. And again, on our tech sheets, we do have the application for a home iron provided right on these tech sheets. So make sure you do not throw those away. But today, let me make some noise real fast. I am going to apply using this bad boy. So this right here is the Siser craft press that is not yet available at Michael's, but it will be very soon. This is just to show you a pretty fast application, what you're going to be able to do once you get your hands on one of these. And what we have is up at the top here is my setting. So right here, I went and I adjusted my temperature. I'm at 315 degrees. I'm adjusted to 15 seconds. And the next thing I want to do is make sure that I have proper pressure. And my pressure knob is right here. So this is what is going to increase or decrease my pressure when I close it. And I'm going to snap that down, and it looks like I have good pressure. Now, today I'm going to be applying on a 100% cotton t-shirt. And at Michael's, they have awesome selections for t-shirts between a Gildan or their brand new additions, the Bella Canvas shirts, which are fantastic. This is just a cotton t-shirt that I've had at my house. Very comparable to both. I do love those Bella Canvas because they're soft and stretchy. But
really exciting, Joe. We have extended sizes available online now with the Bella Canvas shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there you go. Extended sizes. That's awesome. Okay. So with the heat press here, what the dimensions are for the surface we're going to press on is 12 inches by 9 inches. So 9 inches this way, 12 inches this way. It's very important to kind of know your design dimensions. So in this case, mine is an 8 by 8. So for this case, I know that I can apply it this way. But if you knew that your design was a little bit longer, you can switch your shirt to set it up kind of more horizontal than the vertical way. So that's going to be up to you to determine once you know the size of your garment or size of your transfer. But what's great about this is what you want to do is you want to preheat it for a couple seconds. This is going to bring any kind of wrinkles or moisture out of the garment, which is important. Now, when you are working with the glitter, what's awesome about the pressure sensitive backing, if you want to line up your transfer to just get an idea of the placement of the two together, you can lay them onto each other, and there you have kind of one transfer to give you a scope as to where you're going to apply it and how you're going to place it. So in this case, I'm going to line it up with the sleeves of the garment and then with the collar of the shirt. Now, what's important is your heating element is this top portion. So be careful, do not touch that part. But the bottom is not hot, so you don't need to worry about it. Now, what's very important when you do this and what I just showed you is to make sure that you take off your top layer, because you certainly don't want to apply them together, because that's not going to be a positive outcome at all. So what's cool about having a heat press and having the proper application, temperature, and pressure is once I have my one layer of glitter on, what's cool is all it takes is a 1 second tack. I'm losing things on my table. And a hot peel. So you guys just saw that live. I know that the angle is not the best. Maybe we can switch the, I don't know if the laptop camera angle. That might not be as good. There you go. So I just tack that down for 1 second. Now the reason for that is not only the fast application, but it's also when that much heat hits cotton, what happens? It's like throwing your shirt into a dryer. And so a 100% cotton t-shirt has a tendency to shrink, right? So with a 1 second tack, it doesn't give the time for that garment to shrink. Hot peel, I have successfully placed my foreground right into the grooves of that bottom layer. And now this is my last layer. So I need to make sure I go back and apply it for the full 15 seconds. So right here, 2 colors of Siser glitter took me 16 seconds to apply for a full front. But I'm gonna add another addition just to make it extra unique, because I'm giving this shirt to, and just to show you hot peel, it wasn't CGI. You don't need to wait to cool down on glitter. Now, what I like to do, because I always like to do something original or something different, but just to show you what our front looks like, that's a 2 color, 16 seconds. Now what I'm gonna do is apply one last design, but I'm gonna do this on the sleeve of the shirt, because this is gonna be awesome. So right on the sleeve of the shirt, I have one design. I also cut the confetti glitter. I'm gonna lay that down. Now what's important too is you wanna make sure you have even pressure. So make sure that you have flat surface where you're pressing. Again, pressure is very important. And then when you go to line up for a sleeve, the way I always line it up is follow the seam of the shoulder of the shirt, and then follow that down and line that up with the center of your transfer. That's the easiest way I can recommend, unless you get into the T-square type tools and stuff like that. We're gonna close this and press it again for another 15 seconds. And as you notice, I kind of messed up with not having a cover sheet, but you should use a cover sheet ideally. And a cover sheet is just, oh yeah, just to show you, I don't need to wait around. We're good. Cover sheet, you could just use a simple parchment paper. This is a non-stick cover sheet that we've had for a while. But before I go into more trouble, that was just a quick application to show you the press that will be available soon, and just how quick that is. Now, the big reveal, right? Just see if we can get it better. What do you guys think? Hopefully this lighting is all right. But that glitter is flashy.
Ooh.
Look at that. It's actually blinging. Look at that. That's not CGI. And then my last little message on the sleeve is I'm staying indoors. So we're doing our part. I'm going to hook this up to give this to one of my friends that is in the healthcare system. She was requesting a blue shirt of this anyways, but that is the project for today. What did you guys think?
Looks like people
Feedback?
Loving it.
Yeah?
I don't know if
Awesome.
they're talking about you or the shirt, but you know.
I hope it wasn't too painful. Again, I just wanted to give you guys a good look at what you have coming in the future with Michaels, with some of the equipment you'll have with Siser products. Again, another positive message. That's what's really important right now. We got to keep passing that message on, and because we're all in this together, and to keep crafting and do stuff. And again, this is stuff your kids can do. This is stuff we can be showing kids to get going on their business endeavors and get craft ideas coming, because there's a lot more potential in the future for them in regards of becoming young entrepreneurs, right? Like, let's start it going now. But yeah, this is everything I just showed you today, with the exception right now of the heat press, is available with Michaels. So these are things that they've been able to provide on their website to this day. And so if you have any questions on that part, you can definitely knock on Catherine's door for that. I'm just seeing some of the comments. Thank you guys so much. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the design. I'm going to give the design to the Michaels crew, and they will get it out to you if you would like to have this. Again, not all superheroes wear capes. Let's show the respect. If anyone has last minute questions, please chime in right now. If not, I don't want to ramble to myself. So let me know.
Well, Joe, it looks like everyone thoroughly enjoyed your lesson for the day. Someone has called you out for blushing, so I wanted to call you out for blushing because, it's what I do.
I can also blame it on a heat press that's 315 degrees. It kind of does make it gives you that. It's warm though. I got to say.
That glow gives you that little glow. Yeah.
Maybe it's the poor lighting. I don't know. But yeah, no, absolutely. I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you, Michaels, big time for having me on again. If you guys like this, I believe I have another 2 more lessons coming up in the next 2 weeks. So next Friday, I think for the next 2 Fridays, I'll be back here, same time. A new Zoom code will go out, and we'll make sure that everybody can learn how to sign up. But what would be great is if you guys helped us kind of keep promoting it too. Feel free to tag friends, share the social media info and stuff if you know that this is projects that they might want to tune in on. I don't even know what I'm going to necessarily be doing. No, I'm just kidding. I have some ideas. We also have Mother's Day coming up, and I know I'm talking to amazing mothers right now. So it's kind of going to be weird being like, I'm not making gifts for myself, but you can make a gift for somebody, right? This is all positive. We're keeping this all positive. So I have a couple ideas up my sleeve, and we are looking forward to coming back. So please be on the lookout for the next code for next week, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys so much again, each and every one of you. I can't wait to do more of this. And Memorial Day project, just saw that pop up. Yes. Keep the ideas flowing. Keep them coming to me. You know, that helps me out a lot. I don't like not talking about things you want to see. So thank you guys so much. Catherine, if there's anything that anyone wants answer to, please let me know. I can come back up and follow us on social media. Let me know. You know, you can follow me on social media on Facebook, Siser North America. We have and obviously we are great partners with Michaels. And so any questions you have, I'm more than willing to help you. So just let me know. Okay?
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you guys. I'm going to do the goodbye wave now. So
Thank you everyone for joining.
Have a wonderful weekend.
And don't forget, we have recorded this. We will be sharing it out just in case you missed anything. Like Joe said, please feel free to reach out to us on social media. We would love to answer any of your questions or help you with whatever you need. We also are doing classes every single day. So please go to michaels.com/online classes. I made a little sign just in case you don't know what I'm saying. We have a ton of really great classes, a lot of different topics. Like Joe said, he will be back the next 2 Fridays. I know that's who you really want to see. But again, thank you all so much for joining. I know this time is really crazy for everyone. It's really great for us to be able to get together with you all. And I hope everyone has a great day and a great weekend.
Great weekend. All right.
Thanks.
Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Adios.